Ready to start the theme music?
Yeah, I feel like what was it, Deion Sanders? Give me my theme music.
Let's get it.
Scotch, bourbon, and rye, yeah, we on that whiskey. Want to discuss an array of topics, conversation simply. Gonna drop your whiskey bars with the sip hitting for. Could you pass it? You want more? Another glass, let it flow. Steady pour. Steady pour. Yeah, a steady pour. A steady pour of growing, a steady pour of sharing, a steady pour of knowing. Now pass that Glencairn. So pull up a chair, grab a glass, and enjoy a melanin infused perspective with a whiskey twist. Yeah, a steady pour.
Yes, sir. You're tuned in for a Steady Pour podcast. I'm Drew.
Calvin.
Tony.
Darius.
And we are your co-hosts. What's up?
We are the
How we
co-hosts.
feeling, fellas?
Feeling good,
Pretty
man.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
Another night to taste something good. Another night to interview somebody on the podcast.
Special
Very
guest.
We got special guests.
Who we got?
Yeah.
Who we got?
I mean, you might know her as So Dram Good on the IG Whiskey Streets.
In these streets.
Yeah. You might know her as the co-founder of this dope job network called ABV Jobs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
We got Sonja Hunt out here with us on a Steady Pour podcast.
Okay.
Snap.
What's up? How you doing?
Welcome.
Hey everyone, I'm doing good. What's up?
What's going on?
Oh man, we're glad to have you with us.
Most definitely.
Absolutely.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, and you were saying earlier, like, had you been back in your hometown, you could have been here chilling with us in Jersey.
That's right. I'd have came over the bridge.
The Jersey.
You know, just a couple hours north.
Jersey.
Jersey.
How y'all say Jersey?
Jersey.
Do we have an
Jersey.
accent? I don't know.
Jersey.
I don't think we got accents.
I
But,
don't know.
Nobody thinks they have an
I don't
accent
think I have an accent.
until they go into another part of the
I
country or the
know.
world, and everybody looks at them
Yes.
funny when they're talking.
From Jersey, aren't you? How'd you
I'm from
know?
Cali, so I know I don't have a Jersey accent.
Oh my God.
You've been out here for how long?
It's like 18 years.
You're not from
Yeah.
Cali no more.
Right.
A couple decades.
Whatever. Yeah. If your kids is from Jersey, you from Jersey.
Cali
That's
been
true.
washed off you a long time ago.
That might be true. Might be true.
Yeah. It's not where you from, it's where you at.
Fact.
Bars.
Those are bars.
Yeah,
On the
that's
shirt.
Rakim.
shirt.
Yeah. Wasn't me.
Rakim.
Sorry.
Taking it back.
Yeah, so Tone, you like you said, you was from originally from Cali, but you've been in Jersey for a while.
Bi-coastal, I'll
Yeah.
say.
I'm
Whatever.
What is
I was born in Brooklyn, so I can say,
No, you
I can say when they say where Brooklyn at, I can be like, hey.
No, not you.
Put your hand down.
You are Montclair all day.
Well, yeah, I was only in Brooklyn for about 3 years.
Oh my
So,
God,
what are you
bro.
talking about?
So you don't even remember living
So
there.
I could say I was born in Brooklyn. That's what we're talking about. Got that on my street cred. What about you, Darius? You Jersey all the way?
Jersey all the way, man. A whole
Me
Yeah.
too.
Born and bred.
Okay.
I was born
So-
2 towns away.
So me and Tone only got something,
You ain't got shit. Y'all are Jersey. Right.
Wow.
What about you, Sonia? What's where you were originally from? You're VA now?
I'm in VA, yeah.
What about
I was born and
originally?
raised in Pennsylvania, and
Mhm.
I've lived in several states. So I've been in Brooklyn, I've been in Bronx, Manhattan. I've been in just about every borough. I spent some time in Chicago, and also down in Florida.
Okay.
So,
Spent about 3
a
years
little bit of
down
time in
there.
Maryland. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I've been a couple places, but this is home now, Virginia.
Nice.
I'm in North Virginia. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Like DC area, Virginia?
I'm in Alexandria. So yes, that
Okay.
butts up
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
that DC, Maryland.
So when they
Mhm.
say
You know.
when they say DMV, that's you.
Yes, truly me.
True DMD. That's cool.
Okay.
All right.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks for joining us. And so we're actually, like we like to start with the whiskey reviews.
Mm-hmm.
We like to start with the whiskey reviews,
Gotcha.
just to kind of, not only to prime the palate, but also, I guess, the starting point, break the ice.
Prime the conversation.
Prime the conversation.
Yes.
Right. So we actually sent you down a sample because we wanted you to taste this old Forrester pick. It's actually a TSR, Taste Select Repeat pick.
Shout out to OJ.
Shout out to OJ.
OJ.
Pierre.
Okay.
Yeah,
OJ and Pierre.
Pierre. Yeah.
And Pierre, shout out to the both of them. This is their Old Forester single barrel. This was their Women History pick, right? This came out in March.
Yep.
I think, right?
Correct.
Nice.
Not sure.
Oh,
if they
this was the Jackie Z, right?
Believe she was on it. There was a bunch of people on it.
Yeah.
Sherry Carter, our friend, friend of the show, Kimmy, was on that. Believe a few more, but yeah,
Possible.
And so this is a 126.9 proof. However, there's a story behind that. I'm trying to remember what OJ said. There's a story behind that.
Okay.
I can't
Was
remember.
it not what the proof was supposed to be?
It's not what the proof was supposed to be.
It's just where it ended up.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Did they proof it down a bit?
That might.
No, I think it was supposed to be less. Supposed to be less or something. I
Okay.
think it was supposed to be 100. I don't remember the story. I don't want to.
That's a big jump.
How you gonna start a story you can't even remember?
Yeah, I'll leave the mystery out there.
Okay.
I'll leave the mystery. There's a story. There's a story behind it. But
I won't tell it.
but I don't remember.
Cliffhanger.
Just knows it's a story.
yeah.
But then I started
To be
sipping on that
continued.
126.
But what's important is it's a TSR pick, so it comes with it. And so we're glad you could send you a sample and we can taste
Thank you.
it.
Yeah, grateful. I mean, I've been hanging on to this, as you all know, for a minute now, and I want to get into it. So like 5 minutes before we go live, I'm like, yeah, I gotta pour some. And I was pleased.
Nice.
I
You
must say.
tasted already?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you did. We're not gonna get no initial review. Initial reaction.
She said, "I got my whiskey bars already. Got my whiskey bars." But yeah, let me go right on in and jump on in and see if I'm.
Knows it.
Yeah. So this is not part of the Winnie the Pooh collection.
No.
Oh, God, we're gonna keep that going.
That's
just my barometer there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where he starts. That's the level still.
You have some notes on the nose there.
Very
Sonja,
fruity.
notice you going
yeah. It's vanilla custard, like it's that creme brulee,
Okay.
and then that brulee topping. When you crisp it up, that
Yeah.
sugar,
Mhm.
that toasted
Burnt
sugar.
Yeah.
And then you have that bold spice coming up.
Mm.
And I also get a small amount of Granny Smiths. So that nice cut through of that Granny Smith coming across that vanilla is just it's nice. It's intense, and I like that.
What a
That's
bar!
what's up.
Like
Yeah,
what a bar!
You getting all that on the nose.
She putting our palates to
She
shame.
putting me to
Yeah.
shame. I'm like, I'm not speaking up again.
She told us what she was.
We probably shouldn't have had her go first.
She told us what was on the plate.
She said, "Crib."
Yeah.
With a Granny Smith sprinkled
Yeah.
across the.
She told us what was on the plate, how it was made, how it was prepared, how it was plated. Yeah.
It's delicious. I need a bottle of this. I do.
Yeah, it's good.
It's RIP
Just
right
TS?
now. It's RIP. I just checked.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. It may come back though. Sometimes they RIP a bottle and then it comes back later on.
Yeah, like November,
you
they
gotta
usually
remember
bring
it.
back stuff.
But yeah.
This gonna be gone.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be going by the next
Tonight,
episode.
this is a wrap.
We have to get you some more.
You should have gave me a
Yeah.
bigger glass. Tone, what you doing?
I feel-
I did not send this.
That was Drew.
Oh, Drew, what you doing?
I
filled it all
call
the
it
way to the
Friday
top.
night slams.
Friday
yeah,
Night
it is.
Slams.
I filled it all the way to the top.
So he
Okay.
tried. He did what he could with what he had.
Yeah, this is definite smash material right here.
Yeah,
I like.
which is
Good.
scary at 126.
Yeah.
Well, yes and no, because if your palate can, withstand it, it's not that long hot,
Not at all. Yeah.
it's because you get that balance because of everything else. So
Mhm.
yes, it's the long hot, but it's not just that bold spice, that builds up from the middle of the palate to the back of the palate. It's like a nice carry through from your nose, from the beginning of the sensory all the way through. So it just really, evens out, and it becomes, the phenomenal pour that it is.
Mm.
Right. But that almost speaks to how scary it is. Because
Oh yeah.
because of how balanced it is, you're just gonna
You
keep
keep
sipping
sipping it,
and
like,
you're
yeah,
gonna
I'm
keep
good.
sipping, and you're like, oh no, it's straight until you ass tries to stand up, and then you're like, oh, that was 126, wasn't it?
It does have a punch to it though. An initial, like, I'm getting one at least. Like, it lets you know the heat's there, and then it really.
Did you
balances
taste it,
out.
Drew?
No, I
Oh,
haven't.
he looked.
Yeah,
He
he's still
was
lingering.
looking really giddily over there, like.
I
It's nice.
can't get past that
It's
creme
really nice.
brulee, that
Yeah.
vanilla
Mhm.
that is coming out of that glass. Oh
I
my.
like the color on it too, right?
Oh
Real,
yes.
like,
Rich.
it's got real amber. It's got some legs on it. It's
Got
nice.
that.
It's
Some oily.
it's done good in the oak. It
Yeah.
really has.
Mm-hmm.
Because the oak carries through too on the nose and the palate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes I don't like that when it carries
Mm.
through too much, but to your point about its balance,
It's blended really well.
it balances with that creme brulee, with that vanilla
Mhm.
really well.
It does.
Yeah, the color got that amber sap that the mosquito was trapped in Jurassic Park.
Wow.
You remember Jurassic Park where it was that mosquito was sitting in there?
Yeah, I know you.
It's almost
Yeah.
darker than that.
That's
would
a
say
nice
it's
way of
darker.
putting it.
Yeah.
That's a really nice way of putting it, because nowadays I tell people, not the old penny, the new penny, because the new pennies are lighter nowadays than the
Mhm.
old pennies that were really dark.
That's another good one.
You know.
Got a little more patina on it.
No, this is good.
I'm just gonna say this doesn't taste as proof. On the initial, it doesn't taste 126.
No, it doesn't.
It's good. It's the balance is there.
All right, yeah. So, can you talk to us about ABV Jobs? But before you get there, though, how did you get there? What's been your whiskey journey like so far, and how did you get there?
My journey. Woo! Let me tell you. First of all, I'm just gonna put it out there into the atmosphere. I'll be 50 next year.
Okay.
So
Wow.
re-entering
You don't look
like
a day over
54 years
35.
old.
Stay, yeah.
Like what?
Black don't crack.
You don't at all.
I love y'all.
I thought you were like.
Don't crack.
I thought you were like.
Y'all my
mid-
people. Whenever you
I,
come to
I
the
thought she was
DMV.
Darius's age.
I ain't gonna lie on the same thing. I'm like,
She's like, keep going. Keep going.
like no way.
Give it to me. Yes. So, when I went to go about this, and then I'll jump backwards after I say this. I was met with many challenges. I actually got some like dirty mail, like some mean things said to me in DMs, like, why did you start a whiskey account? You too old. You can't do this. I was met with such nasty things. And I was like, I must be on the right path, because my parents taught me, the only people that hear things like that and that are attacked are people that are doing something, because people that ain't doing nothing, they don't hear nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, I'm on the right path. This is it, because I jumped back into this, on faith. We were in a pandemic. I moved on faith. I didn't have a job. I was living off my savings for a year. And I'm just blessed to have been able to have savings for, to take me through a year. Some people weren't able to do that, especially during a pandemic.
Mhm.
So, I had blessings on top of blessings. And the first thing I thought to myself after those hate messages, when I posted up my first pour and everything, was, what exactly do I want to give to this industry? And it took me back to being like in my 20s. And that was fun, adventurous. It was one of the most rewarding times in my life. And excuse me, I was that was like my opening, my soft exposure to spirits. But I must say, I didn't take to whiskey right away. You'll hear me say that a lot, because rum was my number one, followed by vodka. So I was drinking rum and vodka heavy. And, you know, I was in hospitality. I then went into hospitality management and decided to manage hotels and also restaurants. I held 2 jobs at one time, you know, while taking care of a young family and being married at the same time. But one of the traits, the qualities that I possess is that I love getting it done, and I love to get it done right. And I love having things done right. And I love just nurturing that in other people around me. So 2 things that exposed me to the world of hospitality were those qualities, and then that of travel. And I traveled everywhere with my family. I was able to expose them to many different cultures. And, you know, there's a downside also. So I missed family moments, and I really wasn't able to just take time out for self and to recuperate. So I felt myself burning out. And that's when I decided, okay, I can stay in management, but I want to shift this. And I went into human resources, somewhere I felt that I had the most impact in an organization, especially looking the way I do. And at one point being, no surprise, being a single mother before I got married. So, you know, I feel that it was almost destined for me to end up where I ended up back then and also now. So fast forward, we're in the pandemic, and I recalled Marianne Eves, a networking event in which she had spoken prior years, and I was intrigued by it. So I kept following her career. And it wouldn't be until 2020 during the pandemic that I gained the courage to, one, start that page, but also just take a deep dive and immerse myself in the industry. So it was just a lot of courage. It was, you know, lessons learned. It was mistakes. Just figuring out how to get to where I envision myself being, in addition to knowing that those roadblocks are out there, and, you know, doing the research and connecting with the right people. So this industry, and I'm sure you all are aware, is built on networking, you know, cultivating relationships, especially so ingrained into this industry. And I've been doing that. So that's how I got there.
That is quite the journey.
That's a journey, sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will ask this: what was your first whiskey that made you go, I'm kind of into this whiskey thing?
First whiskey. This is going to break my turkey's heart.
Uh-oh.
It was Jim Beam. My mom put me on to Jim Beam. So after people shoving it in my face behind the bar, like, here, taste this, you know, and putting a glass, and you're like, oh my goodness, that's overwhelming, too potent. I was finally able to have something that I smelled, that I taste, that little did I know I was making a hot toddy so I could get better, you know, and it was that Jim Beam single barrel. And from there, I went to Wild Turkey. And when I had Wild Turkey, the rest is history. It was a wrap when I had Wild Turkey. I was like, yes, this is good. And I think I bought, back then, like a bottle per week or 2 weeks.
Oof.
A Wild Turkey. Like, I would go in the store, they'd be like, that's Wild Turkey, girl. You know, and walk right over to the Wild Turkey. Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Okay.
That is interesting.
So you mentioned though, but prior to the whiskey though, you were talking about rum, right? Does that mean you like whiskey with rum finishes?
Love it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Love it. It's one I'm a fan of finishes because that is such an art to be able to pull something out that one is palatable and that, just that speaks to everyone, appeals to everyone. So finishes is my thing, but rum finish whiskeys, yes. I rock with it.
Is there one that sticks out to you? Because I remember there was an episode where we were trying to think of different rum finishes that we've had. But the ones that kept coming up, I think, were the ones that were like, it was also finished in other things. So
besides rum.
Yeah, it'll be like rum and port or something. But
is there a particular favorite of yours finished in rum?
That new Bardstown Foursquare.
Okay.
Oh,
I've definitely not had that.
I don't think I've had that.
No.
I think I might have seen that, but definitely didn't.
It is phenomenal. It is so delicious, and
I have to.
Yeah,
I have to search that one.
Keep an eye out for that one.
Gotta drop some
I
more
try,
dollars.
I try not to drop these names because I almost feel like, I'm selling these things, and I don't want people to say, well, I bought this bottle because it's on it and it wasn't good, and I'm just like, I tell you, go to the store and buy anything. I just said it was good for me.
I said what I like.
Yeah,
right.
I said what I like.
We are all about
but I am
opinions
thankful.
here.
Yes, I am thankful that there are people that value my opinion,
right?
And they actually get in touch with me. Hey, I bought this based on something you said on one of the podcasts, and I just want you to know it's really good. Or hey, it's not my cup of tea, but other people like it that I've given it to. I'm like, good, So I love getting that feedback too. It's all subjective, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
That's one of the great things that I like personally about whiskey is that, there are certain things that are kind of objective opinions where it's like, okay, there's certain benchmarks that I feel like need to be met. But beyond that, there are so many subjective things that just lend to different palates and different tastes, and what's really good to somebody is not going to be that great to somebody else, and that's fine.
Facts.
That's there's plenty of room out here for it all.
This has malt.
Getting malt, like you getting extra deep.
Some of those chocolatey, dark fruit, chocolatey notes.
Cherry.
That's dark.
Yeah.
Some cherry.
Yeah.
And
heavy on the cherry.
It's not what you say chocolate. I want to say more cacao.
Right.
Okay.
I feel like it's
getting
sweet.
better as it's been sitting out a little bit too, right? As it's airing out. I just had another sip. I was like, oh, that's pretty nice.
Drew don't know. This bottle is going heavy dent. Heavy dent.
He might put it away in a second.
It might not.
He about to pack it up in a minute.
Listen, Tone brought his too. Okay.
We don't need to say
this
that.
was already open.
Well, you can open up another one.
But I'm just saying, we got to make sure it's the same
I
one.
thank you all for not saying this thing that I often hear, and it's neck pour. I'm like, if people don't stop saying neck pour.
What is it?
Can you explain what that
means? It's the first pour out like a.
So you stop at the neck, you don't go.
I want her to explain.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Like there is no such thing. The neck pour don't taste no different than the rest of that juice.
Just pour.
That's what it is.
I'm gonna upset a lot of people, but I gotta put that out there because I'm so sick and tired of hearing it. I'm just like, people are like the neck pour was. I'm like, really? The juice is different in the neck than the rest of the. Say that to a chemist. Say that to a food scientist. I'm just like.
I enjoyed the neck, but the body, I wasn't really feeling it.
Like what? I mean, sounds so crazy. I mean, it hasn't been the first time.
I just heard what I said in my head.
I enjoyed the neck, but the body. I mean,
do you think what they meant to say is they want to let it open up more?
Right,
Right?
probably.
PG people, PG.
I mean, we're keeping it PG.
This guy is not PG. It doesn't matter what the
He was really
conversation
genuine with
is.
that question. That was a genuine question.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Drew was asking a genuine question. I don't think he was trying to be.
I know.
With that.
But
what is that?
realistically,
Something 14. Yeah. something.
but realistically, that neck pour is just the first time you've tasted it out of the bottle.
Right.
Once you let it kind of
Yes.
sit, and realistically, your second and third pours of it, you're gonna let sit a little longer in between each sip.
It's not really
So
the neck,
that's
it's the
really
air.
why it's gonna change. What?
I said it's not really the neck, it's the air. It's like letting the air out.
I thought you said it's not really the neck, it's the head. I'm sorry.
Bro, come on, man.
Move on.
I have leveled it
You
back
did-
to
I-
PG.
I apologize.
I heard
I
what Sonja
apologize.
said.
It was
I apologize.
We
It was-
apologize.
I brought it back.
It was
to
the liquor on the
PG.
ears. I apologize.
It's not really the
I feel
neck.
like I instigated that. I'm good for that. I'm sorry. Y'all.
It's that PA in
It's
you.
not really the neck. Just this little portion right here. That's the head right there.
It's like edit.
Right.
It's gonna be edited. All right. I'm glad I'm
So-
the editor.
You did ask me like a twofold question, and that was did someone ask me what ABV Jobs
Yeah, but
was?
Yes.
Yes.
ABV Jobs, yes.
Okay, so ABV Jobs, to switch the subject from next. ABV
Thank
Jobs
you.
is
Oh, we'll
a
get
job
back.
board. Is a job board I created to bridge the gap between talent and opportunities in the industry. So, well, in the alcohol beverage industry. So I noticed immediately when I finished up doing some work for 30 days out in Colorado and just some other projects that I had, that when I went to your Indeed and your LinkedIn and some of these other job boards, it was just the same stuff, or it was your heavy hitters like your Sazeracs and your Beams and your Foremans and things. And I love that. That's really good. But for someone that's just breaking into the industry, I didn't see the opportunity there to meet them where they are and to be able to bring in someone that's what you sometimes consider a fresh out, being fresh talent, green, or just new to the industry itself, wanting to make a change in career. So I created a job board, and I was the first to do it. So I am very, inundated with learning also as I run a business, which can be a bit challenging because you have to get the right counsel, you have to build up your team properly, of course, and you also have to be resilient, right? So two things I believe everyone that is looking to do something different in the industry or to break into it should have is consciousness and self-mastery. Without that, you don't have accountability. So I wanted to be accountable for my future. I'm not going to blame my future or lack thereof on somebody else that's not doing something, or a missed opportunity, or somebody not opening up the door. No, I'm coming for the door. And I'm going to create the door if I have to, because I don't believe that a no is forever. I don't believe that where you are today, you're going to be 2, 5, 10 years from now. Everyone is developing in some way, shape, or form, and hopefully, evolving, and gaining the skill set that's going to take them through those doors in the future and into new opportunities and things. Also, the industry is changing. So it's the perfect time that if you're going to change industries or you want to change careers, this is the perfect time to do that. And the other side of the house is facilitating diverse hiring and development of individuals and organizations. So I have a team in place that's actually doing that. that are C-suite executives and professionals that sit down with these organizations and guide them along in, best practices, things of that nature. So it's just really exciting.
Wow, nice. We appreciate you for it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There were a number of questions that I had as you were talking, just thinking about what you were saying. And I was sort of wondering how much of jobs that are coming out of the whiskey industry or alcohol beverage industry, is it based off of experience versus certification? Like, I feel like that in some instances, for some folks, they'll like, oh, you have experienced this, or your dad does this, or your family member does this, or you grew up in that type of environment, so you're qualified. As opposed to someone that they don't know, i.e., someone of melanin complexion, that we often have to prove ourselves and actually have to have a certification of some sort, and something to vouch to besides. We have experience in the hospitality industry, or maybe just in some other adjacent industry.
Wonderful question. See, as you can tell, I don't have a poker face. Y'all gonna do this to me.
Let it go.
That got real deep.
Okay. Yeah, you got a little deep on that one, but it's time. It's time to have those tough conversations, and that's what I speak to. It's time to have those tough conversations, and also for people to recognize that they may have unconscious bias and that they may not be going the route of best practices in hiring. I just spoke about that the other day. So yes, melanin complected people, aka Black and browns, have not had an easy entry into this industry. The industry plagued with what your last name is, who your cousin is, who your neighbor is. And I don't think that people are still recognizing, until they're having the conversations in rooms with people that look like us, that this is taking place. You don't know unless you know, right? So we have to be willing to open up the doors on both fronts. I don't feel that I'm going to be blacklisted by having this conversation. I'm building a business around it, after all. Also, I have many friends in the industry that own craft distilleries and breweries, and are in the industry themselves, or have been in the industry for, they're industry veterans. So we have these conversations. Is the industry ready for this conversation? I believe so. So I would believe it's fair to say it takes having the conversation. It takes opening up the door to diverse individuals, creating that equity within, and also allowing someone else to come in and to facilitate these changes within your organizations if you're not ready to do an audit, to find out if change is needed, even because there are companies, there are organizations that believe they're doing the most. Hey, Martin Luther King Day, we get out there and we organize and we do volunteerism. And you're
we
sitting there
celebrate
like,
Juneteenth.
You got a charity bell.
We're closed.
So exactly.
Charity.
Is that enough? No, we know that's not enough. Again, if my name is this and I can get a job with zero experience, then why is it that Sonja, that Ted, Fred, you name it, we all look alike, walks up to the door and we're like, we just want an opportunity, and we're being told that we don't have the qualifications. So yes, we are going out there. We are becoming WESET certified and getting the executive bourbon stewardships, and holding this amount of tastings, and sending emails and calling people and doing the most to just try to gain entry. And I think when you say it like that, people start to listen. But when you're dancing around it and you're not having a straightforward conversation, people are not going to respect you, first of all. And they're just going to think, oh, you're just picking, because now this company just hired, X amount, and this company did this, but it's beyond that, and not only that, when you talk about the playing field, when you're looking at the industry as a whole, I'm not talking C-suite executives that look like us. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Preach. Let me pause on that note real quick. Let that marinate.
I need a moment.
Let that breathe.
I'm talking about people that want to come into the production side of things.
Right.
I'm talking about people that want to stand beside that master distiller, and they want to become an apprentice, and they want to learn these things, and they want exposure and the opportunity to be on that side. Because yes, I'm C-suite checks a box. It looks good. And then you have someone that's advocating on behalf of Black and brown for what is really being done. So yes. So
Exactly.
you have to have the tough conversations again. You have to go back to the organizations, but also we have to be accountable. And that is something that a lot of underserved groups are not being. Yes, the organizations can do all the work for us. They can talk on our behalf. Laws can be written. They may come out, but you also have to get past your insecurities, and you have to be a self-advocate as well. So I'm calling out people for self-advocacy, and I'm also calling out people on the fact that, where I go, my team is coming. Where I go, my friends are coming. I'm gonna bring the block with me, as they used to say back home. I don't want to go meet on people, but it's like, wait a second, if I come up and I know that my girl wants to come in the industry too, and then she has a couple of friends, yes, and that shouldn't be a scary thing. That's a hey,
you take
that's
it
just
over.
4 people.
Can't be
That's
coming
4
in
people.
taking over like that.
That's 4 people that you have that are interested in working in distillery, learning a different craft, brewing some beer, or marketing for something outside of like beauty and hair products. For goodness sakes. I mean, we could have this conversation all day. Like,
No, this is
I'm going to keep it,
Yeah.
You don't have to
very
be
even
stuck in a
keeled.
box.
No, not at all. Not at all. And I tell people, that's why, like I said, consciousness, self-mastery, and accountability. And that's everybody. That has to be a 360 thing. That just doesn't fall on the organizations, the brands. That also falls on us in terms of accountability, because we're our own worst enemy also. And I've seen people cut off their friends and other people that they know that are trying to do something. I know people that look like us that have organizations that don't do for us. And I'm just like, you know what? It's all good. It's just, you have to eat the meat and toss the bone. That's it.
Wow.
That's it. Eat the meat and toss the bone.
That hurt cook. Keep going.
Wow.
Give us more.
Bars.
I thank you for the question, though. Like I said, it's tough, and I don't believe I'm being backed into a corner or anything like that. I just knew that over the last couple of years, these questions were going to start coming up. So I'm going to be the example. I'm going to lead by example and start having the conversations that are hard to have. You can do that in a respectful way. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. I'm just telling everybody to be accountable.
You
Take
pointing fingers at
responsibility.
everybody.
Yes, even myself. Even myself, because I will say this. As much as I advocate for other people in this industry, there may come a time, when I'm just like, well, I don't care. That hasn't happened but I'm not saying that it's beneath me or beyond me to think like that in one moment's time, because it happens. Everyone has a test, and either you pass the test or you fail. And that's how I'm looking at people. I'm giving them grace and saying, maybe that's the day they failed the test. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Speaking about, I guess, diverse talent and needing it in the industry, this old Forrester pick.
Transition.
This old Forrester pick was their women's history pick, and he invited a lot of I guess friends and other women that he's worked with to kind of. I think OJ took a step back on this one.
Pretty sure this is all women.
Yeah, that, and so
nice.
I think that's speaks to why it's so delicious. And actually,
telling you what.
Speaking of which, OJ did get back to me and told me what the story was, so I could actually share.
Good.
So I was
Research on the fly.
So I was actually close. It was supposed to be bottled at 100 proof.
Wow.
Okay.
But it's at 126.
So
they were supposed to blend it down.
It's on their website. So it comes from the 100 proof lot of the old Forrester single barrel program, but was mistakenly bottled at cask strength.
Interesting.
Mistakenly.
Oh my.
Right.
Quotations.
Right.
Well, there's two things that is, I don't want to say wrong with that, but there's two things that could have gone wrong with that. Well, I guess technically did. One, if you bottle this at 100, it might be a bit more palatable for the masses, for one.
Definitely.
So, you might catch notes that more people might catch more of the notes. Put it that way. Two, if you bottle this at 100, you get more bottles, which means more product, which means more profit. Nothing.
Yeah.
Going from 100 to 126, that's not a small amount of yield.
Just that yield there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
So, damn, that's messed up. Although I would like
it's delicious at this proof, though.
It absolutely is.
I'm trying to imagine it.
But we're also people that are kind of deep into this whiskey thing. So like this higher proof, we're kind of used to. As far as the masses are concerned, I think at 100, it's more of a sweet spot.
I think most people shopping
to
at
appeal
Taste
for
Select
more
Repeat probably are
right
in
that
maybe
category.
Yeah.
They're probably
maybe
like in the.
Well,
I mean,
I don't know that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's sold out.
Yeah.
So
Right. But they could have sold more.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I did water. I did a couple drops of water.
Okay.
Open it on up.
I don't count drops, just so you know. So I did like a light splash of water. And
I'm gonna join you.
I must say, it's that baking spice, that vanilla still. You have the oak, but it's like almost like a pecan cuts through, and you have that dark fruit. You have that dark fruit. So I'm looking at it as dark cherries.
I get a lot of cherry too.
Yeah, that water gives it a little bit, smooths out the contours of it even a little bit more, right? You're getting all the same notes, but it doesn't pack that.
It smooths out the edges,
that
rough
punch,
edges.
that initial punch.
It actually allows the viscosity to really be apparent. So it is mouth coating. It coats the top of your palate.
This is why Jay-Z goes last on when you do collaborations.
No, she's the guest though. I mean, but
because she dropping bars.
It's like when you got the freestyle. It's like it's like mic drop. All right, we done. Let's go home. Yeah, man, we don't even got to rap no more.
I thank you all for sharing such a phenomenal pour. My goodness.
We're really happy that you like it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's delicious.
Did y'all hear that? They share Taste Select Repeats Old Forrester single barrel with me. So,
it's meant to be shared. Otherwise, there they go, right there on the shirt. I forgot I had it on there. Shout out to TSR.
Taste Select Repeat.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. The notes on this. it's almost goes, it's like I don't want to call it a dessert. Although that's a lot of that's, you are getting those notes on the palate, but it's not a dessert one, but you're getting that vanilla. You're getting, I think that vanilla stands out to me actually. That one in particular, that note is ringing true. Um, yeah,
I don't know. I need
toasted vanilla.
I was gonna say, man, I kind of killed mine, so I can't.
I need
I can speak from what I remember from.
It's just one more. It's just one more.
Tone, you can go ahead and get your bottle.
No, it's
Hey, what?
out in the living room. We
Oh,
can't
look,
even.
she's saving it, savoring.
She not savoring that. You just go ahead and pour that right in your glass.
Sonja, I have a question for you. So
Okay.
you've had ABV Jobs set up for a while now. What would you say is like the fastest growing job opportunities? Like, what are the things that people are gravitating to the most, or the things that you're the trending searches that seem to be going highest on the site?
So I will say, in demand nowadays, and I'm gonna word this right, so I don't.
Take your time.
Mm-hmm. Be real careful.
Yes.
Mm.
We got listeners.
We do have them.
Like
Brand ambassadors.
Mm-hmm.
Brand ambassadors are really growing, but brand ambassadors are now so front facing and now doing so much work. They're going above and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
I think at times it's a generational thing. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Okay. It's like 90s rap versus 2023 rap. Okay. So it's like, yeah. So like brand, how I looked at brand ambassadors at one point, I do not anymore. And I will say that's because they're putting in that work. You would almost think that they own the brand or the distillery. And I'm going to give them their props, their due respect, because when you're going that hard for someone, you should have recognition and you should, receive a pay that is comparable to the work that you're putting in. I mean, they're doing nowadays social media. So anyone that's good at social media, talking in front of people, the theatrics and everything, by all means, social media. I mean, by all means, brand ambassador is the thing. But now you have like this new wave type of brand ambassador, So in comes 2023, right? And it's like you have the person standing, person standing at the bar, unlit cigarette because you can't smoke in them no more, and it's like just a glass in hand, just with just a dram, and they turn around and then you see like words cut across like the whiskey of the future, and I'm just like, wow, like that's what brand ambassadors are doing nowadays, and then like you'll have flocks of people around them at these bars, at these events, and they're selling bottles and they're bringing in new clientele. They're getting barrels out of warehouses. So brand ambassadors. Then you have your brewers. We're growing in that industry. The demographic that is brewers. You have quality assurance. You need your quality assurance people, because that's where you're going to pick up on a lot of the mistakes that you may otherwise just be getting out there. And that happened. I don't know if any of you experienced that during the pandemic, but there was some slips, that came through, and there's some people that pulled products off the shelf or didn't release things because they were just like, this is not what we're used to. And if they didn't have QA, that would have never been caught. Like Booker's didn't release that one season because they were just like, this is not what we're used to putting out. Had it not been for quality assurance, their teams, whatever, they would have never caught that. So QA, and then distillers, of course, that's like the heart, the epicenter, and your engineers. engineers in this industry, they come, they go. And that's because some people return to corporate, they go Fortune 500, all that. They're just like, I ain't got time for this. And I tell people, working in this industry is a lot of rolling up your sleeves. It's a lot of dealing with a different environment altogether. So it's blood, sweat, equity. You know, it's a lot of that. And if you're used to a standard, every day is the same, this ain't the industry for you, because the process may be the same. Okay, but there's no 2 days alike. Things happen, things come up. You know, someone ships you the wrong grain, and you know, there's always something. So as within the environment, in the industry, but some people just cannot deal with working like that, working in an environment that to some can seem dysfunctional or malaligned with organization. And it is very organized, of course, like I said, because you're putting out dope product and you're getting something out there that has a lot of consistency, unless it's a new release. So you have to make sure that things are a certain way. But again, some people just are not used to that environment. So again, in demand are your brand ambassadors, your brewers, your QA, your distillers, and your engineers.
I feel like that's when your background in hospitality really shines through, because I would say almost the same thing for hospitality industry in general, is being able to deal with a very dysfunctional environment and making it work. Because me myself, I've also 15 plus years in hospitality management, and it is the exact same thing. It is dealing with
Putting out fires.
Yeah, it's constantly pulling out fires. It is dealing with all of the varying degrees of relationships and personalities that you're having to constantly deal with. It's an interesting environment to work in.
I'm glad you said that, because those in hospitality, especially those that have to work with people, human resources management, you're a change agent or you're not. So either you're a change agent or you're not. There's no middle ground with that. It's not I help facilitate. No, either you drive change or you don't. And when I say drive change, you partner not with that just of the organization, but also the people. And at one point in time, there was just partnering with the organization. It was, we want to drive out the mission and we want to get the work done, and the employees were cut off. But nowadays, and depending on who you are, you want to bridge the two. You want to say, how can we make this environment this way so that there's more productivity? Happy employees mean more money for the organization. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
How can we make it beneficial for both parties?
For both parties.
I know. Oh, look. Splashing and shit.
It's draining down. It's getting low.
Oh, it's gone. It is gone.
Got a couple drops in there.
Man, it was so hard to write on that bottle, man, with the little. I was trying.
Work, dude.
I was trying. Yeah,
you did a good job. You did a good job. Thank you.
No.
I was over there sweating.
Whatever.
Right.
I know. I got it. I was like, this all fancy.
So
his calligraphy classes came in handy.
Are we gonna give our official how much of a pour we're gonna give this?
Ooh. Oh.
We're gonna give our actual ratings.
Yes, and then we're gonna get her to give hers.
Oh, you want her to go first?
No. Because she's gotta kind of
get our system.
Understand what that means.
Okay. Darius, you want to start us off?
Man, that's right.
You want to start us off on how much of a pour?
Should we explain first how our
No.
rating system?
We'll explain at the end
Okay.
after we give ours,
Okay. Well,
just in case she doesn't.
Okay.
I feel
But I feel like she'll get it.
I feel like the way she described it is going to skew my rating because she gave this most immaculate nosing, tasting. It just made me want to say, "Give me a steady pour of all of that." But no, I did get a lot of that vanilla, a lot of that. For me, it was cherry forward. I got a lot of fruit, but the nose was great. The taste did have that kind of a little cinch to it, but with the flavor going on with it, like, it was a nice combination for me. I'm probably going to say for myself, if I give it a rating,
Be honest.
oh man, this is tough. It was between 3.75 and a 4.
Okay.
So I'm probably going to lean towards 3.75.
Okay.
I'm not mad at it.
Okay. 3.75. That's I'm not mad at it,
But leaning
I want a
towards
little
I want more.
Leaning
Yeah,
towards,
yeah. Give me more. Yeah.
Heavy towards give me
Heavy,
more.
exactly.
Gotcha. Tone, what you got? How much of a pour are you giving this?
I don't want to copy Darius.
But you are.
Just be real. Be you.
No,
Speak for yourself. It's
I'm
not
there.
copy.
I was thinking of 4 at first. It's really good. Yeah, I think 3.75 is encapsulate all of it. Like I said, I'm not mad at it at all, and I will take more if you have it. And I'm gonna savor the extra bottle I have. So it's.
Oh
really
yeah, it's
tasty.
sitting pretty in the back right now,
It's,
unopened.
Yeah, I might have to hide that after this interview, but no, it's really good. All the notes you guys said, getting the vanilla, the caramel, but yeah, just the cherry, the dark fruit, pecan, almond, like you said. I'm getting some of like the peanut, some of the nutty taste on it too. It's really good. I'm a fan of this. This is really tasty.
Like those nutty flavors, huh?
Cal, what's your
So,
nose?
Tone, yours is
Nuts to the neck.
a
3.75.
3.75
Yep.
ounce pour. Even though you had like probably 5 ounces, 6 ounces. Right? Anyway,
Even though you've been steady pouring this whole time.
Cal, talk to
Cows.
me, man. How much of a pour are you giving this?
This is a
Let me
struggle
try
for
it.
everybody.
I know. It is kind of a struggle. One, because we have had a decent amount of pours tonight. I don't know how much that's skewing my decision here.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go 3.5.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
I think it's really good. I'm definitely not mad at it. Obviously, I will go back and get some more.
No, you've done that already.
To discuss
You've done
Drew.
that like 3
That's what I'm
times.
saying.
bottle
That's
is
what
gone,
I'm saying.
Drew said 3 is your limit, bro.
But if I'm being honest, after tonight, how many times am I gonna be like, oh, I could really go for that Old Forrester single barrel, this particular one?
I hope 0 because I don't want you anymore. I hope, yeah.
That's all
That's
right. I know where there's another bottle.
Wow.
3.5.
Yeah,
I like that.
I think I'm
Yeah.
going with a 3.5. It's solid.
good.
It's delicious. If you got it, I'm a take some,
That's what we're
but
doing.
I'm not necessarily gonna seek it out.
Drew, speak to us.
I'm gonna give it a 4 ounce pour.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 4 ounce pour because just simply I want some more.
More.
And I've been trying. I probably would want to reach for it for 2 or 3 more times, but I want to savor it for just another day. Just give me another day at
That's
least.
because you're a hoarder.
So
but
stop
that's all
I
right.
just need at least another day, so I could.
That's pretty much code for stop drinking, guys.
Mhm.
You all had
Stop drinking my shit
No, I like to share, but I like to at least
I like to
know,
share in
When you opened it,
yeah. But yeah, so I'm gonna give it a solid 4. Like it's just hitting it's just nice on the palate. Like it's just it doesn't have like a complex journey necessarily like I've had with others, but it's just hitting all the right notes and it's a good, you know how I said this before, between single notes, chords, scales. This is a chord. This is a nice chord. I'm getting a nice chord with the palate, and I'm definitely enjoying every sip of this.
Nice.
And now we turn it over to
4 ounce.
So Dram.
So, would you like us to explain our 1 through 5?
Do you just want to go for
Okay.
it? Oh, okay.
So, 1 is 1 ounce pour, right? That's one and done. You're good. I've had enough. I'm straight.
Throw it away.
2 ounces is more like it's good, but
Cocktail.
let's throw that in a cocktail. Let's doctor this up. 3, we have. Yes, I realize you finished it. It's okay.
She about to give it a 5.
That's what it is.
So 3 is I am not mad at this. This is delicious. I'm good. We can, yeah. 4, it's you can just go ahead and just give me some more of that. Just go ahead and pour that up. 5 is a steady pour. Just you can leave the bottle, sir. We're good.
Leave it here.
So that's ours. So given that, where are you at?
Speak to us.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I told you.
I called it.
Okay.
She
My
said
goodness.
5 out of 5.
She said she wanted to save it,
Cheers.
and she killed it.
Oh yeah, nah, that's the last sip. Oh man, the disappointment right
she
now. You
tried-
ain't got no more.
She tried to save it, but she couldn't. She could not.
I
resist.
did. I did. That is something I could see myself. You could sip that slow. You can do a cocktail with it. And because it wouldn't be overwhelmed, it would be decent with that. And that's something that you would definitely share. So it knocked out all the categories.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Love it.
That is the first official
5.
5, a steady
Ounce.
pour.
Wow.
Mark this down.
Right? 5
So
mics in the
momentous.
source.
Sojourn Good came through with the
Yeah, that's a 5.
ounce pour.
I can
Old
respect it.
Forrester single barrel strength.
Taste select
Pinked
repeat.
by none other than Taste Select Repeat TSR. Shout out to them.
The,
once
the,
again.
the all-female crew.
Shout out to the
of
women.
Taste
That-
Select.
that-
Yeah.
We ain't mad at
That
him.
was literal fire. It's just
Mhm,
wow.
mhm.
Speak to it.
Yeah, I can
We got
feel
you.
the fire all in my chest.
do y'all remember what was that? Eddie Murphy's hot tub? How you did the hot tub skit?
Saturday Night Live, yeah.
Yeah, that gonna get in the water.
Too hot.
Gonna make you sweat.
Too hot for the hot tub.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
That was
okay.
good.
Yeah. We'll get you some more.
Thank you.
From my bottle.
Disclaimer: not from Andrew, not from Andrew, but
Yeah.
Tony got you covered.
So for this question I had for you, and I've kind of toyed around with this question a number of times. Maybe in another episode we talked about it. I like talking about with other folks in the industry. That's the AI question, and that is how do you see AI sort of being introduced or being used in the whiskey industry,
Or abused.
disrupting? I don't know how you want to phrase it. Do you think it'll show up at all? Is there any space for it here?
There's definitely space and opportunity for it, and it's already being used actually.
Mhm.
So for those not familiar, it's being used tracking right now, grain to glass. So what's being done right now, there's a lot of data gathering and data sharing through AI. So you're going to have the analysis, the trends that, what's driving the trends, all of that stuff is going to be more AI driven. The consumer is going to be analyzed through AI. So customer service is going to be AI. So I see a lot of opportunity, a lot of growth in that area, and technology driving that. Just the changes that are coming about, keeping up with that demand, because when you look at the industry as a whole, you're looking at a $5 billion industry. that it's just going like this. It's not going like this.
No.
It's going like this.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have to keep up with that somehow. And as technology rises and things get competitive, I see it having its advantages, and we won't know the rest until it's actually out there, and
Mm-hmm.
calling us up and saying, "Hey, did you really enjoy that bottle of Old Forester that you just bought?" So it's just we gotta wait for it. That's it.
Yeah,
we gotta wait to see how humanity abuses it, like we always
Yeah.
will.
I feel like it could go as far as, with enough data, it could drop whiskey bars just based off of like
Everybody else's whiskey bars that is
just
collected.
And help the blenders blend, or right, the master blenders blend, in the sense of, it was this grain, this mash bill, it was in what warehouse, it was at for how long, it would taste like this, or it should taste like this, and these are the notes based upon all the data that I have. I feel like it probably get to that point. I feel like it
Probably eventually.
You need that human
think
touch,
so.
though.
Yeah.
I
I
you
think
still
you
think
still
the
need that
human
human
touch?
touch, man.
It's always
Like,
gonna
it's
need
gonna need that. It's gonna need that quality assurance, that actual human tasting.
But the
And-
reality is though, AI still has human touch, because AI is only going to go off of
it's
the
pulling
data
off the data from humans. I get it.
of humanity.
Yeah.
And it's only going to, its algorithm is still going to be based off of a human creating that algorithm.
Yeah.
And whatever biases that algorithm was created within. So in that, there's still going to be that human touch there.
But does that cut anyone out of a job who might do some of that compilation and data searching?
Not
just in that
possibly,
industry,
but
I
it's
mean-
not going to be to scale. It's not going to be a large volume of jobs. No,
Okay.
I don't think.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so either. I think whatever jobs it cuts out, it'll probably create those jobs on another side.
Yeah, other jobs.
Yeah. Because you also need someone to prompt the AI, to feed the data, to pull what information that you want out of it.
Until it takes over.
You can still automate that.
I see one of the advantages of it as being predictive, the predictive data and what the brands can pull from that. And when I say predictive, again, going along with those trends. So if you're used to people in the 22304 area code, these consumers that buy whiskey, they buy all this, and this is their shopping trends. They buy this one buys, Bob buys his once a week, and Ted buys his, every other month. Then you'll be able to say to the brands like, hey, your sales are going to be this by this quarter. Your sales are going to be this fiscal year. So I see them having advantages in that way, having the data faster than they've had in the past. And that's going to also enable them to hire based on those demands that are coming. So I see a lot of opportunity there in terms of staffing and in terms of labor force increasing, and also pay increasing too. That's something, we really try to shy away from talking about pay, but I see it benefiting, like I said, as a whole, if allowed to work and to do what it should be doing in the future.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing an article or hearing about how distillers are using AI. It's going to come out sooner than later. AI is going to blow up. How, like, I don't want to get all like, conspiracy theory or whatever, but however, what we think we used to know or what we like is like, it's going to change. Like, we're going to be, in order for avoid us to be sounding like, people are like, oh, I remember when it used to sound like, or do this, or remember when it used to be this. It's gonna change, like, drastically. I think in a lot of things. And so instead of me hanging on to the past, I'm I'm trying to
Accept
position myself to embrace it.
Just give in to the AI.
I'm just trying. At this point, I'm just trying to embrace it.
You can enjoy the juice.
Just let it wash over.
Sip the juice.
Juice
Juice is good.
Sip the AI juice.
What?
Could you imagine going to a hotel and like something opens up? You know how they have those things on the wall, and the slide opens up, and it's like, have you had your pour today? And it's like sitting there waiting for you, just based on what you sip when you travel. So I'm like,
the literal
I rock with
sipping
it.
of AI
That's exactly
juice.
what she said.
Literally, you're sipping that AI
Exactly what
juice.
I wanted.
Here you go, Mr. Anderson.
Yeah.
Based on the data from your Apple Watch and iPhone, and
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that,
yeah.
Based on what you
your
search, what you
schedule.
I don't know. Yeah,
This is what
I
you're-
would be. I will be upset. I will still sip the juice.
yeah, of course.
But,
We know
but
you
I
would.
will be upset while I'm sipping the juice. Like, God damn it.
And then you'll enjoy
See,
it. You'd be even more upset. Like, this is delicious.
I like being pampered. Like I was just talking. I was joking like a week ago. I said I need to pay somebody to think for me, to shop for me, to just live
Convenience.
for me, to go to work for me. I said I want to pay somebody to do all that. So all I can do is just travel, be on the beach, read a book, like just
So,
chill, be up in the mountains. Like I'm
the
over
hilarious
this.
part of that is that as much as you do want that, you still want it done in the way that you would do it, and no one will do it that way. So
That's
you
right.
actually don't.
She wants to clone herself.
I know.
Like clone me,
Right.
please.
I've been trying to have the government give me one for free.
How can
They
I
probably already got you
slave
already.
myself?
They got you somewhere in the laboratory right now.
I wouldn't doubt it. Trust me.
Yeah. Like it's almost like that Black Mirror where you can watch the clone's day and you say, and then you can spend an hour like coaching them. And now this is what happened. Now do this next time. All right,
Gotcha.
report back to me later.
Yeah.
Or what is that?
Severance.
What is that Apple show?
Severance, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I've
You
seen
got your
that
work
one.
self and your
What?
regular self.
No.
They basically separated their personalities, so their at-home personality doesn't know anything about their work personality.
Oh my
Like a
god.
Oh,
switch
wow.
that turns off.
Wind up becoming
Really good
two
show.
different
Really interesting
people.
show. Yeah.
But at the same time, they're kind of slaves because the work personality can't quit. Like it can't just
That's
leave. It can't make
They're
decisions
trapped.
for itself. It's
Trapped.
it's
work.
it's beholden to the decisions that the at-home
home personality
personality is
makes.
made for it. It gets real wild
That
real
sounds
quick.
really introspective.
So which
Now I'm
one's the
checking it out.
clone and which one's the
Isn't that what most
It's
people
the
do
same
anyway? They
person.
just compartmentalize.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes,
Kind of.
but there's no
It's like
actual
I'm at home. I don't want to
separation.
talk about work.
Right. So
Right,
you- so
but
you
you
would love that.
you still remember it, and you still have the decision to push that aside. Whereas in this, there's no decision to be made.
It's just your
The work personality
At home.
only knows
work.
itself at work.
I have to watch this now. It just
really
sounds-
It's
good.
kind of
It's
wild.
really good. Yeah.
sounds crazy.
You're gonna make me turn on television.
It's Friday night.
I know. There's some good shit out there.
Too much.
Apple Plus. Cut
What
that
is it
check.
called?
Severance.
I've heard of it.
Yes. Yeah, they gotta cut a couple checks for
Yeah,
tonight.
you
We
cut
were,
that check,
yeah,
cut
we were
that
doing
check.
it. We were doing it.
Well, awesome. So when you think about ABV jobs and individuals that are applying on the job board, right? What barriers do you see, I guess, in the industry that prevent people from even applying? Like, and it might even go back to what we were talking about before, but what type of barriers do you kind of see that prevent people from like saying, applying and saying like, no, I can't apply for that. They're not going to pick me, or I'm not qualified, or, you know.
I'm going to, before you even answer this, my guess is the biggest barrier is one, knowing the opportunities that exist in their world. Because if you don't know exist, then it's not really an opportunity for you. And two, understanding what the parameters are for being able to do that job well.
Yes. And that's where, the unconscious bias comes in. Because if you can train up Steve, you can train up Brenda. If Steve came into the industry with no knowledge and a degree in a field that doesn't, that isn't comparable to the role in which he's in, but then you didn't hire Brenda, the store clerk, that's just as eager to do the job and start from the ground up, then you kind of like, you barred that person from being able to enter the industry and have the same opportunity. So there's a lot of unconscious bias out there. There's a lot of JDs that are worded incorrectly. So, and as I was mentioning earlier, like that's where the audits come in, being able to have an openness with a team other than your core team that you're used to seeing every day. And it's going to be your yes men, like, yes, that's perfect idea. Yes, fine, great. That's all good. It's not all good. It's not fine. That is the issue. I don't want anybody to tell me yes. I've told my staff, my teams in the past, don't blow smoke up my ass because it will ruin my autopsy. Like, don't do that to me. I want to hear the truth. I want to hear the truth. I don't want you sugarcoating it. So they have to be willing to hear that. Then there's the insecurities. Well, I don't have this certification, or I'm coming in, and we spoke to that earlier. And it's like, well, now I got to go out there and get a degree in chemistry. No, I ain't getting a degree in chemistry. I suck at math. Math is one of the hardest things for me, and I'm not knocking anyone that has taken that route and they are where they are based on their backgrounds and things. I commend them all day, every day, because it is so hard. These are not easy jobs to do, but that is a different level job. You understand what I'm saying? So you have qualifiers for those jobs, such as your chemistry, your food science, so on and so forth. You're going to need to know the math and everything. Trying to learn that now at this age has me like, like, trust me, up under this dye, I'm all white. Like, it's oh my. But and
It's
lack of best practices. So if you don't have a formal hiring process, which new companies, so to anyone wanting to get in, new companies, they'll be open most of the time to new staff, new opportunities, hiring people. But if they don't have a best practices and they don't have procedures that they normally follow, you'll just see like a picking and grabbing of fruit almost in a store. It's so random. And you need things to be consistent in order to be fair. Not only that, why are you posting online that you want people that live within a certain radius? Excuse me, I'm an adult. I'm self-managed. If I own a car, I can get to your job. I can get to your facility. That's really none of your business.
Right.
And that is so old school. And that is so limiting in terms of who you hire as well. So anyone that's in the industry that is, this is my challenge. If you are in charge of hiring and sending out those JDs and setting up those posts online, stop that shit. Like, it's ridiculous. That is redonkulous to the 10th degree. Because like I said, if it's a self-managed adult, they own a car, don't worry about all that. That's even illegal to ask somebody, well, do you have a car, reliable transportation to get to work? Like, why are you asking that? Are you able to be here for your scheduled shift is the better question. Right. Yes or no? They know the answer to that before they, and then you have those one-off in one case scenarios where the person said, yeah, but Metro just ain't running the way that they expected. It's okay. It's not the end of the world, and I'm just like, those are the things that are barring us, But back to insecurities, you can do it. You got this. Decide what it is that you want to do. Follow your path, network, put yourself out there. If you need to start somewhere, become a brand ambassador. Find out more about the brand or the industry that you want to work for that way. Tour guides do it all the time. They have the most knowledge most of the time of the distillery, outside the distiller and distillers and the people that are like the core foundation of the place, because they have to learn that in order to intrigue you and pull you in and show you around, you know, and do their Vanna White. It's like, you know, they're selling you while they're touring you through this place, you know, and at the end you're going to buy a bottle. So it's like, get in there, get it done. That's it. Do the work.
Okay.
The math comes next.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So what's
says the accountant.
yeah, I mean I mean numbers, I like numbers. They make me warm.
It makes sense.
Make me warm.
Yeah, make me warm at night.
They make me,
Cozy.
they keep me warm.
I mean, they
Yeah.
literally do. They pay that heat
They
bill.
do.
I love multiplication and addition. That's it.
That's it.
That's
Love
it.
that.
After
That's
that,
I am not
I don't
explaining
like
for why.
subtraction. I
No
like
algebra.
subtraction.
All right, well that's dope. So where do you see ABV Jobs in the future? Where you want to see it go? What's on the horizon for ABV?
I see it as a, I'm going to talk big right now. This is manifesting,
do it,
okay?
right?
Talk about
So-
it. It's not-
speak it.
I see it as being the prime one-stop shop for jobs in the industry. I see it as
Okay.
being the sole source and the top provider of talent and opportunities in the industry. I see my core team and the consulting side of it, increasing talent engagement, employee retention, and just industry knowledge as a whole in terms of hiring, managing, and diversity and equity and inclusion. So
Nice.
I see it as so many different branches. This is just a small piece of it, to be honest. Yes, I get a little humble and choked up when I talk about it, because
I get it.
it took me exactly a year after thinking about it to drop it.
Wow.
We could be our own worst enemy at times, and
Oftentimes.
and you know, we can bar ourselves. So we're one of the barriers, and that's why I say insecurities.
Yeah, you can talk yourself out of a good idea real easy.
Oh yeah.
But
I do it all the time.
I think the fact that there's nothing else like it, like you mentioned, there's really not a place for people in that industry to go, is great, and I only see it going up. So
Thank you.
Yeah, I certainly enjoy going on there and looking at the different positions that are out there, what different companies are sort of looking for, what type of talent. Kind of goes into the education piece in terms of learning about all the different types of jobs that are involved in bringing about dope whiskey.
yeah.
What went into this old Forrester pick?
Right.
You
A
know?
lot of hands. A lot of hands.
So
Look, I was floored when I saw foreman and like forklift driver. I said, why wouldn't they have that if they have stuff to move? Like, but those are the things
Right.
that you're
And
not thinking
heavy
of.
stuff,
Right.
Yes, those are the things you're not thinking of when you're thinking of this industry. It is so robust, and it's only, like I said, going like this. More jobs are going to come about, more opportunities. There are people now in the industry shaping the roles and creating the titles that they are walking into. They're like, there's nothing here for me. I have to create it. And I want people to also have that mindset when approaching it, approaching this industry.
I know we're getting past our time, but I'm going to ask this question anyway.
No.
So when you think about the different jobs you see on the job board, what type of job in a distillery do you think we should interview to learn more about?
Ooh, that's a good
Oh,
question.
that is a good
That's a
question.
really good question.
Quality assurance.
Okay. All right.
I can see that.
I haven't seen but one person ever talk about or hear one person. I've only heard one person talk about QA. So I would love to hear more about QA. also label makers. So there's companies out there that make labels, and I actually took a course on label making and the dynamics behind the labels, and I enjoyed it. See, that's what I'm talking about when I say about going deep and learning about the many different areas. I was like, I could see myself making labels, even, so
You think those
label makers,
those quality assurance folks got like a non-disclosure agreement that they got they got to sign?
Yeah, I'm sure so.
I guess we'll find out.
Probably.
some may, yes, some may. Like you won't hear me talk about who I do new product development for. Like the one day this week I was actually going through some grains and putting together a couple mash bills, but you won't hear some people speak to exactly who they're doing it for unless they're tied to that organization, but they may not speak about a certain part. They may leave certain parts out, which is fine. Right. But being able to speak to those people and find out what it is that they do and why they're able to pick up on the nuances and the well, not the nuances, but the errors and the different things that they go through. I believe it's Nancy Fraley that has a course that she teaches, a seminar that she has about the errors and things. And I so want to take that. Like, one, I have to meet her, and two, like, that's dope beyond anything, because I can smell things at times that are off-putting, and when I pick up on yeast and so on and so forth, some other things, I'm just like, something's off in this, or I get a mustiness, and then I'll read up on it like, yes, this did it. I'm like, I knew it. And I want to understand that just a little more. So I want to, take a dive into that next.
Definitely.
Yep.
Wow.
All right.
Nice. Awesome. Well, Sonja, we thank you for joining us tonight.
Great. Absolutely.
To kill this old Forrester bottle with us and to
thank
share
you.
about ABV Jobs.
Where do you share your socials? Where can we find you?
Yeah, where can folks find you?
Okay, you can find me on So Dram Good on IG. You can find me also at Black and Spirited, and also at ABV Jobs on IG, Facebook, and Instagram.
Nice.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, yeah, there you have it, folks. Thanks for joining us. And that's another episode of a Steady Pour podcast. Thanks for joining us. Peace. Doses.
Peace. Bye.
Well, that concludes this episode of